Hi, in this video we'll focus on three things. Number one, how to prepare for an interview. Number two, how to perform at your best on the day. And three, we'll go through some top tips about how to ace a video interview. It's really common to feel nervous about an interview. It shows that you care. The best way to feel more confident is to prepare thoroughly and practice, practice, and practice again. Following the tips in this video will help you increase your chances of success.
So, preparing for an interview. Through an interview, an employer wants to know and will ask you questions to find out if, firstly, do you want the job? Does it come across that you're motivated to do it? Do you seem passionate about it? Do they think that you'll work hard? Next, will you fit in? Do you give them confidence that you can work well with other people and represent the employer well? Crucially, of course, can you do the job? Can you give them lots of evidence that you have the skills and qualities needed and show potential for further development? And also, do you have commercial awareness? Do you understand the sector that the organisation is part of? Do you understand the bigger picture and where the organisation sits within it? And finally, do you stand out from other candidates should they pick you? So based upon this, to get ready for an interview, you need to spend some time researching and thinking about, so what are your skills and strengths? What's your personality? Do you have any weaknesses that you're working on? What is your motivation for the role that you're applying for? And then think about the role itself. Look at the job description. What are the responsibilities going to be? What skills are required? And how do these match up to what you have? And then think about the organisation and do some research on them. What's their mission? What are their values? What activities do they do? Who are their stakeholders or their clients? If they have products, what are they? What do they do that's different from other people in the same area? Are they in the news? You can look on the company website, read key documents such as their annual reports, or follow them on social media where you'll find a great deal of information about what they're like and their culture too. And then finally, you want to research the sector. So what are the latest developments in the sector that the organisation is part of? How do they fit into the bigger picture? Here you can read industry press, you can read articles in newspapers, etc., to get that kind of background. So now let's talk about the interview itself. So if you possibly can, try and get a good night's sleep before the interview and make sure that you're as relaxed and comfortable as possible. Breathing slowly and deeply can help relax you beforehand. You'll want to make a good impression from the moment that the interview starts. Be polite, professional, friendly, and demonstrate good body language. When it comes to answering the questions, try to make sure that you answer the question being asked. So listen carefully and make sure you don't answer the question you wish you had been asked. A really good framework for structuring your answers is called the STARR Technique, where S stands for situation, T for task, A for action, R for result, and if you like, add on another R for reflection. So in the situation, you want to briefly outline the circumstances in your example. So giving some context of what it was, where you were. In the task, you want to explain exactly what it was that you had to do. What was the problem or the goal that you were trying to achieve or solve? And then in terms of the actions, you want to give a step-by-step explanation of what you did, remembering to talk about what you did if you were part of a team. Now, this is to show and demonstrate the skills that you're trying to evidence. And then finally, with the R, with the result, you want to outline what happened from after your action. And you want to be really specific here to show your effectiveness in using the skill. Now, in using the STAR technique, roughly 10% of your answer should be background information, the situation and the task. And the bulk of the answer, let's say 70 or 80%, should be around your action. So what you were doing, and then a final 10% for the result. Sometimes if you, for instance, were answering an interview question where something went wrong, this is where you could add on the reflection to say, this is what happened and this is what I learned from the situation and this is what I would do based upon that next time. You can look below at the resources for examples of the STAR approach or framework in practice. Finally, let's look at some tips specifically for video interviews. If you're applying for a graduate scheme or an internship within a major employer, it's very likely that you'll now face a video interview as part of the recruitment process. Now, there are two types of video interview. They can either be carried out live, where essentially you're talking to people in a room as you normally would, but the session is just taking place online, or pre-record a series of answers to interview questions which are later reviewed by a recruiter. For either type, find a quiet space and ensure that you're not interrupted when the interview is taking place. questions, either by others or by your mobile phone or something like that. You want to check the technology in advance. So try a practice conversation with a friend on a similar platform to the one that the interviewer will be using, such as Teams or Skype. And if you will be pre-recording your answers, this can feel a bit strange as it seems a bit like you're talking to yourself. So try to practice these using the employer's online software if you have the opportunity. You can also use our free resource to record and review your responses to common interview questions, and you'll find the link below of where to access that. If you have any issues with your sound quality, consider using a microphone to help improve this. A simple microphone from a mobile phone, for instance, can work really well. And on the day, if you do experience problems with your internet connection or your sound or something like this, just be honest, let the interviewer know, and then you'll have a chance to fix it without it influencing your performance. Think too about your background. Make sure that the room that you're in has good lighting and that the background is appropriate for somebody to see. The angle of the camera should put you in the middle of the screen so that your eye contact is central. And make sure that when you're talking that you look straight down the lens of the camera so you are connecting with the employer. You'll also want to strictly follow the instructions given you by the company about when to join the interview. The recruiter, for instance, may be finishing up the previous interview with somebody in the same online room that you will be in, so you don't want to walk in on it. So make sure that you arrive at the time they have asked you to. And finally, if the recruiter can't see you live, they'll see you in the future. So make sure that your body language is good, that your eye contact is good, and this will also help you with your nerves and make you sound clearer and more confident. Interviews can feel really daunting, but with preparation and practice, you can present yourself in the absolute best possible light and secure the role that you want to. Careers and Enterprise offer a really wide range of support for you around interviews, so do check the links and resources below this video. Good luck.